At the weekend, my best friend was telling me about MCP servers, and he described them as a USB stick to connect LLMs to whatever data you want to bring. And I thought, hang on a minute, I've got observability data, I've got plenty of data, let's have a look at what I can build. And I'll be honest, I was blown away by what I was able to build in 40 lines of Python. So in this video, I want to show you what I did and how I did it. Let's get straight to it. First, I want to show you the raw telemetry data, the fake log files I'm working with. I've got some info events here. I've got an info deployment successful at version 1.0.1, and then I start getting errors, payment failures for particular users, and some debug stuff. And then I have a second log file with some info, deployment successful version 2.1.5, but notice it's on the 15th, and then some errors. So humans would already say, well, this is a different thing. This is a different service. Okay. Then the third file or telemetry, imagine these are all APIs, are my deployments. So I've got 4 pipelines, A, B, C, and D, and some ownership information. Abby, Bob, Susan, and Ian own the respective pipelines. And if you notice that the pipeline we care about, or that we think has caused this issue, because the current tag is version 1.0.1, is owned by Susan, and we know this because the deployment was on the 22nd, 9:03:42. So not quite the same time as the payment failures and the deployment in the log, but very, very close. So as humans, we would say, okay, these two things are related. But can the LLM? Okay, let's ask it. I will start my MCP server with Python log reader, and I'll launch Claude. Okay, let's have a look at what Claude can do. So I'm getting reports of problems. Errors in the logs. Can you help diagnose the root cause? And it's going to figure out that it needs to use my MCP server. And yeah, I'm going to allow it to use my MCP servers. I'll explain in a moment, of course. Okay, based on the information retrieved, here's what I can tell you. The 4 different pipelines, most recent deployments, latest event on March the 22nd at 9:04. There's a successful version 1.0.1. However, I noticed that while you mentioned reports of problems, the logs didn't show any explicit error messages. What are these errors related to? When did you first notice these errors? I got reports on the 22nd. They started around that time. Okay, let me dig deeper into the logs on the March the 22nd. I noticed something potentially interesting. Pipeline C had a deployment on March the 22nd at 9:03, just before the successful deployment log at 9:04. Key observations. Pipeline C is owned by Susan, blah, blah, blah. Contact Susan about the Pipeline C deployment. Ask for more specific errors from the team's report. I mean, this is absolutely phenomenal because I haven't told it how to figure this out. All I've given it are 3 log files. This is absolutely incredible. And this is really, really going to be a game changer. I know I'm using that and it's overused, but I really am truly excited about this. So let's jump into the code and see how all this was achieved. As you know, we've got our 3 raw files, and then the Python is very, very simple. We create an MCP caller, give it any name you like, and it's basic Python. This one, get key logs, and we loop through both log files, and all I'm doing is saying if error is in the line, return those error lines. Again, we go through each log file, and we say if the word deployment is in the line, return the deployment events, and basically just look at pipeline.json and return the entire JSON. That's it. And then we give the 3 different tools that the model could decide to use. We give that 3 different names. Get CI/CD logs, get important events, get important logs. Now, that's all. That is all I've done. It has figured out from my prompt that it needs to call these tools, and it's crunched the data. I mean, this is absolutely phenomenal what this can achieve. Like me, you're probably thinking, wait a minute, if this wasn't fake data, if this was tied into my actual observability system, this would be super powerful. And I'm waiting for that as well. I can't wait until the observability vendors start creating their own MCP servers and give us access to all of the data in their back-end systems, and open telemetry can do the same thing. So again, I'll open source all of this code. Feel free to have a play around. Let me know, show me what you've built. This is unbelievable. This is really, really good fun. I hope you've enjoyed this. Go forth, create. It's a magical world, and I'm sure this video will get out of date very, very quickly, and this will look very basic and simple in the days and weeks to come. That's how fast this industry is moving. But hot off the press, I wanted to show you this new capability that I've come across. All right, see you next time. Bye.